Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to provide an update today. My name is Shannon Winslow, and I am the Chair of the Board for the New Hanover Community Endowment. I would also like to recognize that in the audience today, we have a good number of Community Advisory Council members. We also have some of our esteemed partners, and I'd also like to recognize that we also have a number of our board members in attendance today that I'd like to recognize. We have our Vice Chair, Chris Boney. We also have Directors Bill Cameron, Spence Broadhurst, Bill Blair, and Holly Sears Sullivan. So again, we thank them all for their support, and in addition, also recognize that their leadership and their service has been instrumental to the progress that you will hear presented today. I am happy to report that the endowment is in the strongest position since its inception. We have built a solid foundation of financial strength, of robust infrastructure, and well-established grant processes. All of these things position us very well for long-term impact. As we look forward, our priority is to close out this year with the momentum that we have built over the past year, and also to lay the groundwork for the implementation of the strategic refresh for 2026. With that said, it is my pleasure to introduce you to our interim CEO, Sophie Dagenais. Many of you know her as her previous role, or prior role, which is Vice President of Programs and Grants. Sophie has stepped into this role with very strong, thoughtful, and steady leadership during this transition. And with that, Sophie will share with you the progress and the priorities for the endowment in an update. Thank you, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you, Shannon, for your leadership of our board. Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, County Commissioners, County Manager, thank you for your time today. Thank you also for all of the community members who are here in person or virtually, and that of course includes our endowment board members, members of my team, and our partners. In the interest of time, I will dive right into it and look forward to your questions. The endowment's mission is clear and unwavering: to improve the health, education, safety, and economic opportunity of every person in our community. I am deeply grateful to our board for their steadfast commitment to that mission. I also want to thank the members of our Community Advisory Council and welcome our newest members, Maria, Sana, Abdul, Evelyn, Nick, Tim, and Andy. The engagement of our Community Advisory Council is absolutely essential, and activating their leadership is my responsibility, with the support of our exceptional team. We look forward to building on our work session a week or so ago and moving toward a more strategic, pillar-based approach to leveraging the depth of their expertise and their experience. Before turning to the future, I want to briefly share some insights from a deep dive into the endowment's work to date, which we'll expand upon in a forthcoming report and retrospective later this summer. At our May public meeting, I shared very, very high-level data on the endowment's grants since inception. And this summer, we dug deeper. In our first few years, in our first 2 years, according to this slide, and there are other slides, most of the endowment's grants supported residents of New Hanover County of all ages. There were subsets of grants, however, that targeted children, and another subset that targeted adults, including young adults. Nearly half of our grants promoted multiple outcomes across our 4 pillars, reflecting and validating how deeply interconnected these pillars are. Our grants strengthened infrastructure, organizations, access to care and services. They helped meet basic needs and build opportunity. Together, they reinforced our workforce, fostered community connectedness, and enhanced public safety. In sum, resources aim to impact organizational, individual, and population-level outcomes. In 2024, we awarded 50 grants, over $53 million, advancing our housing strategy, our food access strategy, and helping to build a healthcare workforce pipeline. More than $24 million supported the construction or repair of 500 housing units and transitional beds. They also contributed to housing services for more than 15,000 residents of New Hanover County. We leveraged more than $100 million of public and private dollars. Over $2 million strengthened infrastructure and access to nutritious food, building on prior grants of nearly $4 million. Our career partnership with 4 organizations, now approaching year 2, is keeping students enrolled and on track to become the next generation of healthcare workers in New Hanover County, and this in partnership with our New Hanover County Public Schools. As featured in a RAND report, community colleges around the country are scaling up basic needs support to keep students enrolled. New Hanover County, all of us, are helping to build evidence nationwide. And with our local data now coming in, we look forward to compiling those data in partnership with our grantees and helping to share this partnership and, above all, the success of our students and our workforce. Looking ahead, housing and food are not standalone strategy. They are cross-cutting strategies, essential pathways to our broader vision. After all, how can we expect our children to do well in school if they are not sleeping safely or if they are not eating? This year's strategic process, which Shannon mentioned earlier, led by our board and of which my team and I were a part, is now completed, and we have sharpened our focus. Maternal and infant health, mental health and preventative care, early childhood education, K-12 educational outcomes and closing disparities, youth connection, keeping youth engaged with school, family, and community, and building resiliency. Supporting a vibrant economy, promoting entrepreneurship, and ensuring access to recreational facilities for all. In sum, we are embracing a cradle-to-career and beyond framework, helping to ensure that kids are born healthy, that every student has a chance to learn and thrive, every young person feels connected and supported, and every adult has the opportunity to contribute and to benefit from a strong, vibrant community throughout our entire lifespan. Operationally, this means driving through our 23-25 strategic plan toward our 26-30 strategic plan. Aligning with ours, but also aligning with the counties. Supporting on-the-ground work, balancing flexibility with discipline, and building strong public-private partnerships, including in collaboration with our county agencies. It is not possible to achieve our bold goals if we do not partner, pilot, and innovate with our public partners who are the system drivers. We seek not incremental change, but transformational impact, and that is to say, closing structural gaps and creating sustainable solutions. Of this year's $55 million budget, we have committed more than $30 million, and we are on track to fully obligate that budget by the end of October. The demand is high, to be sure. As of today, year-to-date letters of inquiry, more than $146 million at stake. I should pause and share that some of our grants this year will include, or have included, and they have been announced, grants to Good Shepherd, to the Land Trust, to Union Missionary Baptist Church, El Cuerpo, Keep Your Hands Off Me, a new grant to Growing Resilience to support its work in the Northside community, Soaring Eagles, the county, and well over 100 grants as a part of our new Community and Capacity Grants program. Just last week, our Grants Committee considered more grants with us, which we will consider again with our board later this week, and we will continue to do that until we obligate our budget, which will not be long. Some have wondered, with the refresh in place, but a CEO who has just departed, will there be a pause? Absolutely not. We're pressing forward, clarifying grant pathways, all the while making these grants that I've described, strengthening infrastructure, and activating our strategy development framework, which I also shared at our public meeting in May. Looking at the data, where are we now relative to our goals? How will we measure our impact? And by the way, by we, I not only mention our grantees, but we at the endowment must also do better with data for a more quantitative assessment of that impact. And we'll help our grantees too, so they can share their stories. Reviewing the research. What is happening right now in New Hanover County? What's working? What is happening elsewhere in the nation? And what can we help scale or replicate or adapt in New Hanover County? Above all, in May, I anticipated the essential need to activate our refresh by organizing efforts to ensure that we seek, leverage, and incorporate in our strategies community voices. What does that type of engagement look like? Recently, you may have seen a request for proposal. We will convene multiple stakeholder groups, including our youth, to inform a comprehensive assessment of recreational facilities in New Hanover County and to identify assets, gaps, and needs, and therefore inform our grant making to promote the goal of quality recreational facilities for all. We will invite youth-serving organizations to joining us in envisioning a shared agenda for youth development. We will engage with leaders and players in the entrepreneurial and innovation space as part of a broader benchmarking effort. We will collaborate with partners and to map the early childhood education landscape in New Hanover County and to identify our strengths and the gaps that we may need to fill together. And we'll work alongside nonprofit organizations to support and enhance their capacity. In sum, we are presently now organizing efforts to consistently hear and incorporate community voices. And where these activities intersect, we will find the compass for success. Before I take your questions, let me close by saying, it is my honor to serve in this role alongside our team, our board, and our partners. And while my title may be interim, my leadership and my commitment are full. But more importantly, the work of the endowment has always been about more than one person. It is the work of an entire team of capable, focused, and passionate colleagues. My team at the endowment, our board, our council, and our entire community. I know that together, our shared commitment is full. Please mark your calendar for our next public meeting, December 10, when and where my team and I will share more information on our continued progress. And in the meantime, please be on the lookout for more substantive impact reports, and I encourage everyone, our county commissioners, county manager, all of us, our New Hanover County leadership and our City of Wilmington leadership and all of our municipalities and the community at large to track our progress by visiting our website for regular updates on our portfolio of grants. As of last week, that roster is now complete, it is up to date, and it will be updated every month. Thank you very, very much, and I am fully aware that the time is likely better spent with the two presentations that will follow, as it happens, by two of our grantees, Young Scientist Academy and the Boys and Girls Club. So thank you so much. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Anybody have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sophie, what a delight to have you here today. Thank you for that really positive, upbeat presentation. We're delighted you're here. A couple of things. I noted with great interest, I think it's the third time that I've seen the slide about the path forward, which I'm absolutely delighted about. I see it as a main theme, early childhood education, carrying it on through. But what I haven't seen are specific programs around that, and grants and where the money's going to flow to make that beautiful slide into something of reality here in New Hanover County. In my mind, of course, we struggle with early childhood education, pre-K here through our school system. So I'm over the moon about your focus on it. And even though you had a lot of other things to say, I really focused on that. Could you expand on your support for that specific initiative? I don't know quite what to call it.
The initiative being early childhood education?
The path forward, yes.
Well, that's certainly a multifaceted approach, Commissioner Zappel. If we look at the panoply of grants that we have made in our history, you will likely find grants in support of early childhood education, maternal health. In fact, it's not likely. It is decidedly the case that you will find grants that promote all of the outcomes that you see on that slide, cradle to career and beyond, including grants to support the care and services for our aging population, including grants to develop a strong workforce. So, individually, we can absolutely identify grants across these outcomes. What is more exciting is and my board is equally as eager as you, Commissioner Zappel, and what I have suggested to our board is that though we have the strategic refresh now, we don't simply enter the office and flip a switch and suddenly have that entire initiative that you speak of. We have some work to do, and that's that strategy development work that we are doing right now. And so while we are putting grants out in the field to the organizations that are doing the work and with whom we are learning, we also have to convene ourselves and learn, for example, in early childhood education. Who is in the early childhood education space presently? Who is doing that work? Who is not doing the work? Are there children without access to early childhood education? We have to learn all of that in order to, together with those partners, develop an appropriate strategy. Similarly, before we get to early childhood education, how do we help ensure that our babies are born healthy? And that is working in concert with our health providers and our community serving organizations and our mothers and parents-to-be. And so it really, for us, it is not a transactional approach, but it has to be a system-wide approach. And for that, what we are trying to do now presently, get some grantees together, not work with them individually, but rather, let's get them together and see what is missing amongst all of them. What happens before the children arrive to the Early Childhood Education Center, and what is happening at the end of the day? Or what is happening as they enter school, so that we may build toward grade level reading proficiency. They are learning to read, and we want to get them to reading to learn. And so finding those threads, as opposed to those transactions, now really threading along that roadmap that you saw and connecting our grantees. So it's a process. It's grant making, always. We will never stop the grant making, but more and more as we conduct these kinds of processes and work in tandem, not with one grantee at a time, but with many grantees at a time, that we can begin to thread that story. I look forward to doing that work.
Thank you for that, expanding on that. Also, I know there's been a lot of questions within the public and with my own mind as well about, certainly what has happened and now moving forward. Do you anticipate large-scale changes in the staffing, or have you decided yet? I know you're new in the role here and stepped in, but I know that we just came through a period where a lot of new staff for the endowment was brought on. Will you move forward with them, or are you going to make changes?
Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you, Commissioner.
Sorry, I just had to
No,
surface it. Yeah.
I have been working at the endowment for a while now, including as Vice President of Programs and Grants, a position which
Right.
I continue to occupy. And I know our team. We have a very strong team. And I am now 3 weeks into my role as interim. Even if I were permanent, I arrived, my focus is on the present. Our focus together as a team is on the present. And so I cannot, at the present time, imagine of a single reason why a first order of business should be to make any significant changes or any at all on our staff. I simply do not see that in my future, in my near future. We will grow.
Yeah.
And we will evolve, as any organization must. That would be the limited, I think, lens, if you will, on a staffing structure at this time.
Thank you for that direct answer to that, Sophie. I appreciate it. One last question. I know that there are several appointments between this commission and the hospital that are coming up here, certainly by the end of the year. It would appear to me that having some stability on your board at this point would be something that you would be looking forward to, or is that anything that you want to comment on?
Well, since you've invited me to comment, I will say this. For any CEO, transitionally or otherwise, but especially in a period of transition, there is likely no more important consideration than the stability of our board. And so I would certainly, if I were asked, say I would promote continuity any day of the week.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Welcome aboard. We look forward to your leadership going forward, Sophie.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Just a suggestion, work as hard as you can, as fast as you can, to get as much money as you can out into this community.
Thank you, Commissioner Scalise. The entire budget will be out this year's. As you know, we are capped. It'll all be done by the end of October.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just a comment, Mr. Chair. Sophie, just thank you for stepping up into that position. And for the public, would you mind saying what your position was before and how long you served on the board or the endowment?
Yes, certainly.
Shannon?
My previous position at the endowment, and I continue to occupy it, Vice President of Programs and Grants. And I joined the endowment on January 27 of this year.
Okay, so very good. And so there is some stability with you stepping into that position.
I like to think so.
Absolutely. And just one of the questions that I have, and a lot of people ask me in public, is how often do you go back to the folks that you make grants to? How often do you go back and kind of check in on them and see how the money is returning in our community, and how is it effective? And is that some particular program that you have that you do with the people you make grants to?
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. It is absolutely part of the work to cultivate our grantees. I would start by saying, though, that it is an absolute mandate of ours and in any philanthropy to stay in touch with our grantees and to ensure that they deliver to us the report that they are expected to deliver, be they on an interim basis or on a final basis. And in those reports, they tell us exactly how they have spent our dollars. Now, that's a good governance, right, mandate, as it should be. Above all, though, much more important is the work of the grant maker, which really begins by developing relationships with the organizations who are doing the good work out there. And then, as we cultivate that relationship, develop a grant program with them. And yes, they will receive a check from us and deploy as they have been committed to deploy per their grant agreement with us. But every step of the way, it is the work of the grant-making team to stay in touch with them, so that there are no surprises, or so that we may be helpful if there are pain points, and so that we may also accumulate lessons. Because in those lessons, we will improve the next grant, or a grant to perhaps a partner organization. And so that work goes on a daily basis, Madam Vice Chair.
Okay, very good, and thank you for answering that. And I know we are scheduling an upcoming meeting,
Yes.
so I'm looking forward to that, and looking
Likewise.
forward to getting to know you better.
Likewise, thank you very much.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
I just had one follow-up comment. Sophie, I know I'm going to touch on something that might, might be mildly controversial. But I think from what I'm hearing from you today in this opportunity to kind of turn a page freshly, I hope that you will consider, let the plane pass over us, 2 planes.
Build up in anticipation.
Yeah, I know. What can I say?
We are grateful for those plans.
Yes, we are. Sophie, I hope you'll consider increasing the number of public meetings that you have. I know you're required at this point to have 2, and which you do. But I wait for the day when you're meeting enough and enough information is going out to our public about the endowment and the work of the endowment that they find it boring. Because I think that day is out there. And I think that the more that you put the work that you're doing out, and especially, as you just did today, show where that money's going, and to kind of get over this disconnect that there seems to feel, and I know it's a perception, with the public. So in your thinking, finding ways to throw open the windows, let the sun shine, whatever metaphor you want on there, but starting with meeting more frequently with the public till they're bored to tears.
Thank you, Commissioner Zappel. I appreciate that recommendation very much, and very much look forward to that day as well, knowing how hard everybody is working inside the endowment and outside of the endowment. And we will do better. We'll find new ways of sharing more often and more deeply.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.